Believe it or not, I have an in-person audition today, which is crazy because this is only my third in-person audition since 2020. 99% of auditions since the pandemic are self-tapes, they're virtual, and it's still the case now. But for today, I actually have to drive somewhere and park somewhere and show up at a physical location. So that should be fun. Probably a little bit nerve-wracking, but fun, hopefully. Hopefully fun. But yeah, so that's what I'll be doing later on today. I do have a self-tape that I also have to get done before going to the in-person audition. So I will be doing that shortly. I actually just got out of the shower, but I have to like straighten my hair and do my makeup and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just gonna have the same like hair and makeup for the in-person audition and just like change my outfit. That's the plan. I have my backpack with my script for the in-person audition. And then also, usually, when you show up in person, it's a good idea to bring a physical copy of your headshot and resume. The funny thing is, the hilarious thing is, I don't have any of my updated headshots printed out because I usually, 99% of the time, do not need that. And it actually is not very cheap to print out your headshots professionally. It's kind of pricey. So it's not really worth the cost since I go to in-person auditions so little amount of the time, if that makes sense. However, I was able to find an older headshot. This is actually a headshot. Oh my God. This is actually a headshot that I've had printed out for a while. It's several years old now. So this is one of my older headshots, but I think it'll work. I actually brought it to another in-person audition a while ago now, and they never even took it. Like, I think because they have a digital copy of my headshot and resume, they didn't even ask for it. But sometimes casting will ask for it and will want a physical copy of your headshot and resume, so just have one on hand just in case. Even though this is an older one, I still think it somewhat looks like me, so it's gonna have to work. And then I printed out like an updated version of my resume and like stapled it onto the headshot. So I will be bringing this along with me. And yeah, that's gonna be my day. I'm gonna try to update you as much as I can. I can't really tell you anything about the audition, unfortunately, but I can tell you how I think it went after it's done, and if I have any other things I can share with you, then I will. I just got done with my self-tape, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put together this footage in iMovie and submit it. Okay, I just arrived to my audition location. I'm a little nervous, but I'm also excited. Parking was a little stressful because these spots are like small. Yeah. So I will touch base with you after I'm done. I don't know if I'll touch base with you like exactly in this location. I might drive home and then touch base with you just because like traffic and stuff. There was definitely traffic coming here, and I expect there's gonna be some traffic when I leave. So anyway, wish me luck. It is the next day. After my audition yesterday, I was just really tired. So I decided that today I was going to give you all as concise of a recap as possible. I'm basically just going to be talking about how I personally felt about my performance and how I felt about doing an in-person audition, since that's just such a rare thing now. The waiting room. It was really weird being back in a physical waiting room again with a bunch of different actors. I mean, you really kind of forget what it feels like to feed off the energy of a room prior to your audition. I mean, some people are chatting away to other actors that they know, some people are keeping to themselves, some people look a little tired, some seemed nervous, some seemed pretty calm, but overall in general, I would say that the atmosphere was pretty light and relaxed. I mean, I've been in some waiting rooms where it's super quiet and tense and heavy, but this was not like that at all, which I liked. And because this waiting room didn't feel like such a pressure cooker, I found myself feeling fairly relaxed as I was waiting for my turn. At sign-in, I was told that there would be a bit of a wait since there were other actors in front of me, and I think she said they were like running behind and stuff. And sure enough, I was in the waiting room for longer than I was expecting, but I did appreciate getting that information when I arrived. So when I was sitting there waiting, I wasn't like confused or freaking out. I kind of knew what was going on. The cool thing is they had some snacks and waters at a table that we could go and grab, which is the first time I've ever seen that before. Like, this is not normal. Do not expect this if you go to an in-person audition. Usually there's like nothing there for the actors. But anyway, they did not ask for a physical copy of my headshot and resume. They had already printed out the digital copies of everyone's headshots, so they didn't need anything from us. But at other in-person auditions, they might ask for a physical headshot and resume, so just always have one on hand just in case. Anyway, when my name was called, I immediately felt my nerves and adrenaline spike. Like butterflies in the stomach, my heart started beating a little faster, got like a
lumpy, dry throat.
I don't know how else to describe it, but this always happens to me during live auditions, and when it does, I really remind myself to enjoy the experience, to trust myself, not be afraid to ask questions if I need clarification, stay grounded, and just keep a level head because the people in the audition room want to see you succeed. Now, unfortunately, I can't tell you like the scene for the audition or details about the performance or anything like that, since this is for an unaired project at the time of me filming this video, but I can truthfully say that I have no idea if I did a good job, a bad job, a mediocre job. Like, I remembered what I did, but also blacked out at the same time. This happens to me with auditions sometimes, I swear. But everyone in casting were really friendly, and I think they liked what I did. But I will say that there was a level of awkwardness because, like, for the audition, we were supposed to be like thinking about and imagining certain things, and when you're doing that in an audition room with a bunch of people staring at you, it can be
pretty weird.
Yeah, but that's part of your job as an actor, is to like imagine things during your audition in like just this random blank room. However, during the performance, I was really focused on trying to stay present and having fun with this short scene that I had. And I think, like I said, casting seemed pleased with the choices that I made. They didn't really give me any feedback or redirection. You don't always get notes or an opportunity to do a second take, even in in-person auditions. So try not to come in with the expectation that you'll be able to do the scene again. Like, you really want to try to make sure that you can get it in the first take, because sometimes they don't have time to see a second take, or they don't feel like they need to see a second take, so just keep that in mind. For my particular audition, one of the members of casting asked the other if she was good with my take and with what I did, and she said, yeah, it's good. So I just had my one take, and that was pretty much it, you know? The actual performance portion of live auditions, whether virtually or in person, always happen super quickly. Like, you do all this prep, and then the performance is done in a blink of an eye. That's all that I have for today's video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. It would really mean a lot to me. And yeah, until next time, bye!